Hey everyone, Nick Reed here from Success on Amazon. I've got a bunch of questions here that I've got from clients and friends on dealing with Amazon and starting your business on Amazon. So I'd like to go through some of these questions and hopefully it can help some of you guys out. So the first question is, who can sell on Amazon? Anybody can sell on Amazon from basically anywhere in the world. So I'm in Australia, I can sell on the UK, in Germany, in America, in Australia when it opens up, in Japan, in India, wherever I want. If you're younger than 18, you might need a bit of help with the company structure or whatever you want to do there to get set up. But apart from that, you can pretty much start at any age. How much money do you need to get started selling on Amazon? Well, it's good to have $1,000 or $2,000 to get started. Now myself, I think my first order was about $500 or $700, somewhere around that range. Now, it didn't give me a huge amount of inventory and it was a very cheap product, which means that the returns we're going to get are a little bit lower. But it got me started and it got me in there. So whatever you've got to start, do it. With a lower budget, it does change the type of products that you can look at. So you can't look at a more expensive product potentially because you might only be able to get 50 or 100 in there, which won't be enough inventory to keep you going. How did I start? Well, as I said, I started with a very low budget just to test the waters and see what I was doing. Had I done it again, I would have started with a little bit more money to get going. But I did my research on Alibaba. I found a product that I wanted in China, organised all that and got it shipped out to the US, into the Amazon warehouses, and then started selling from there. What's the process of Amazon FBA? Well, I do private labeling. Now, what's private labeling? Private labeling is I find a product in China that I want to sell in a store somewhere around the world, and I put my brand name on it. Now, what's my brand name? Whatever I make up. I could have Nick Spitz, and I would go to Fiverr or Upwork and I'd get somebody to design a logo for me. I'd give them a bit of a brief. I want a logo that looks something like this. They would design that logo. Once I've found the product on, say, Alibaba, which is one of the main sites that I use, I get them to send me some samples. Now, the samples can be expensive. So if you're buying a product that's only a couple of dollars, they might charge you $60 to send you a sample. Now, this is just part of doing business with the Chinese. But paying that extra money gets the sample to you quickly. Now, when you're starting off, there's a bit of a process and some time. You can't do it all in a day. You've got to find your product, you've got to find one that you like, find a supplier that you can deal with, find a supplier that will send samples to you. Now, let's say they send you a sample and you're happy with it. Then you can say, well, here's my logo. I'd like my logo to be printed on the sample. So your logo now gets printed on the sample. It needs to go in a box. So again, you go to one of these sites, you get somebody to design the box for you. The supplier will give you dimensions and stuff, whether it's a box or a bag that it needs to go into. Sometimes the supplier can get those printed for you. Sometimes you need to go somewhere else and get them shipped to the supplier. That can all be done within China. And this is something that we can go through more as we do more videos. Now, once all that's organised, we need to create a listing on Amazon. We need to create a shipping plan that we give to our suppliers in China that says, hey, this is where it needs to go. So this is the particular warehouse. This is the way it needs to be boxed up for Amazon to be able to receive it. Then you need to ship the product. So there's two ways. Sometimes you're lucky and the manufacturer can actually organise the shipping for you. And because of the amount they ship, sometimes they can do really good rates. And then there's other sites that you can go to that are kind of like a what if or an Expedia for shipping. So you can type in, here's my box dimensions, here's my weight, I need insurance, those sort of things. And they will give you a bunch of quotes from different suppliers of what they will charge to do that. We've got all that organised, our product gets shipped into Amazon, it arrives in a warehouse, and then once Amazon have checked all that stock in, then your listing goes live, and then people can actually buy your product. And that's how simple it can be. Now, you don't actually physically touch the product at any stage apart from the samples of them, and then you might get them once you've printed your logo to send you a couple of samples so that you can get really good photography for them. Get them listed, and then you're selling. So, how do you find a product that you want to sell on Amazon? The first place to start is Amazon. And there's some software that will really help you find that what you would think is a good product. Potentially, you know, what else is selling really well on there? So the product I like to use and I recommend is Jungle Scout. Now there's a link down below you can click on to go and find out a bit more about Jungle Scout. So they offer a Chrome extension, which is a little piece of software that goes in the Google Chrome browser. So when you're in Amazon and you say you want to find a sleeping hammock, you type in a search of sleeping hammock, all your sleeping hammocks will come up. You click on your Chrome extension, your Jungle Scout Chrome extension, and it will show you this user sells this many per month. Their price is this, and so this is how many reviews they've got, and this is what they would be, the revenue they would be making per month. And it will list everything that's on that page so you can compare. So within that, what you're looking for is a product that sells a decent amount of, that you can make a good profit from, but one that there's not too many competitors in yet, or there aren't people with 5,000 reviews or 1,000 reviews or along those lines, which we'll go into more in later videos. But that way you can find a good product that you know will already sell, that is already selling, and that you'll be able to profit from. So once you do all that research, then you start finding samples from your suppliers. You contact 10 or 20 suppliers in China through potentially the Alibaba site, and see what they come back with pricing of that. So it might be it's a $20 product you found, a $20 camping hammock that you can sell it for, and you might find that you can source that for $3 or $4 in China. So you might get a couple of samples to see what quality you like best, which one you like the best, and then you can go ahead and put your logo on it and that sort of stuff. And then you know that you've got a product that already sells. Then your listing, all that sort of stuff is what makes it really good, and your advertising that then makes you sell a lot and makes you compete against everybody else that's there. So we talk about private labeling. So as we said before, private labeling is branding. It's putting your logo or your brand name on your product. That's not a big scary thing. You can get, say on Fiverr or Upwork, you can get somebody to design you a logo for $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, depending what you want. Now me, I went to 2 different designers and I said, I want to have a look at 3 or 4 different logos you guys come up with. So I had about 8 or 9 logos that I could choose from, found the one I liked best, and that's what I went with on my products. So that's quite cheap. They'll send you all the files that you need that you can send to your supplier, and they can print that then on your product or on your packaging. So what are the best categories to sell in? Well, there's so many, and there's new ones opening up all the time. So it's not really a here's the best category. There's some categories that sell millions of dollars a month, and there's some gated categories as well. So there's some categories, what they call gated, that you need to apply to be able to sell in them, and you may not get approval or not. So let's stay away from those and go into ungated ones that we can get into easily, especially for our first few products, and get going that way. How long does it take to make profit? Well, that has a few factors that come into it. So you'll start selling your product fairly quickly. Within the first 2 or 3 days, you should have some sales. You can get friends and family to help out if they can buy some products and leave you with reviews. So potentially you can start making money from day one. And Amazon will pay you every 2 weeks. So your products are on Amazon, Amazon ship the products out for you, they receive the payments from the customers, they take their fee out of that, and then they will pay you the rest every couple of weeks. So that's really cool that you get paid every couple of weeks. Now, out of what you get paid is your advertising costs. Amazon have already taken their fees out. So depending on the first couple of weeks, you might be putting more into advertising than what you're selling. And then once you've got a bunch of reviews, a bunch of sales, you're moving up in the rankings, then you'll start making sales that you're making more profit from those sales. So you could make profit in your first couple of weeks, or you could, it might be a month before you start making some really good profit. Depends on the price of your product that you're selling as well. So a really expensive product, you might make $50 or $60 per sale, but because it's more expensive, you might sell less of them. Whereas a cheaper product where you might make $10 per sale, but you might be able to sell more of them because it's a cheaper product. So there's a lot of things to consider when finding a product and what the amount you'll make off each of those products are. So how much money can you make selling on Amazon? The sky's the limit, and that's the awesome thing about it. So let's say you've got a product that's making you clear $500 a month. Now, that's not a real good product. But let's take that as an example. If you can make $500 a month, cool. Let's add a second product. Now we're at $1,000 a month. Let's add 10 products. Now there's $5,000 a month. So you see, you can scale your business. It doesn't need to be one product that's making you $1 million a month. You might have a product that makes you 500 or 1,000, so you get a second product and a third product and a fourth product. And as you add those products on slowly, you'll start making more and more money. So I know people that make $1,000 a month, some that make $4,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Some people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month selling. They might have one product, they might have 50 products. It all depends. But there's so much potential on here on what you can make on Amazon, which is why it's so exciting that there's such a small barrier of entry that you don't need a lot of capital to start up with. You don't need to buy shop space or anything like that, and you can make so much profit from this. So with your first product, how many should you order? Well, there's a few things come into account there. So with your research, how many products are the other sellers selling? So let's say they're selling 500 a month. You might start off a little bit slower, but you might think, well, okay, I need to put 500 in there. And that might last me 2 or 3 months if things sort of slowly take off, because you need to remember that some products take 2 or 3 weeks to get made in China and shipped to Amazon. Some could take 2 or 3 months. So if you've got a product that takes 2 or 3 months, if you're sending it by shipping, and so the manufacturer might take a month to make it and then a month to send it, and then it's got to get into Amazon and those sort of things, you're going to want to make sure that once you put that order in and it gets into Amazon, you've got enough there so that you don't run out of product. Because the problem is, if you do a really good job and you get your product onto page 1 for its keywords, and then you have no stock left, then your ranking is going to go down because you're not making any sales. So Amazon says, well, this product isn't selling because they don't have any, so we'll go down, and another product is getting higher in that ranking. So then when you get more product in, then you've got to start doing all the work again to get your ranking back up there. So you need to have a look at what other people are selling. What you can afford is a big thing as well. And then try and make it a good idea of what sort of numbers you might need to actually start off in that category. What sort of a mindset do you need to sell on Amazon? Well, you're starting a business. You're not just selling some products on eBay that you found around the house. You're starting a proper business. So you've got to remember the business mindset. So you've got steps to go along the way. You've got timelines of things that need to be done. If sales don't take off on day one, which with most people they won't, you might sell one a day for a week or something along those lines. That you've got to know that if you can stick in there for the long run, you can scale, you can advertise, you can make your listing better, you can get there. So in these videos, I like to go over mindset because I'm very strong in that. I've run a lot of other businesses, and mindset is really a big part of running that business, holding in there and making profit. How much time does it take to run your Amazon business each week? That's the beauty of this. You get the lifestyle. But the big thing is, if you're working a 9-to-5 job already, you can work around that to get your new Amazon business started. So your most time-consuming thing is finding that first product. So that could take you a week, it could take you a month to find that first product. But you can do that around work, before work, after work, in your lunch break. Find that product, wait for the samples to come in, start doing your listing and all your researching and that sort of stuff. You can build your business up until that's covering your income and then grows more. Then you can look at leaving your job, but it's not something you've got to leave a job to start because it's going to take so much time. What is the risk? Is there risk? Yes, there's risk. There's risk in everything we do. Now, I used to be in the finance industry. I know about risk. There is very low risk. Can you lose money? Potentially. You can lose money in anything that you do, but if you don't take a risk, you don't get any reward. So what's the risk? You get a product, you get the samples, you send them in, they don't sell real well. Well, the beauty with that is, because you've brought them from China, you've imported them, you're paying very little for them. So if they're moving really slow or it's not a product that does really well, sell them out really cheap at cost price for you. So you're just covering the cost of your product, the cost of shipping and the Amazon fees. Get them out really cheap. You've covered your losses. Find the next product. So your first product won't necessarily be the best product or a product that will keep going or a product that you might have in 5 or 10 years, but you need to make a start. So you can't get held up with analysis that, oh, is this a good product? I found a really good product. Oh, now this one might be better or this one might be better. You need to make a start. That's the number one thing. Make a start and read, learn as much as you can about selling, about Amazon and that sort of stuff so that you can make a real go of this business. So I hope some of these questions and answers have helped you guys. As I said, I'm going to be making a lot more videos on more in depth what you can do with Amazon, how you do your product research, how you use Jungle Scout software, what other software you can use to help you out or other websites, how you find a product, how you organize shipping, how you get it all in there. So we're going to go through all of that. So I really hope this helped. If you think it helped, please subscribe, please hit the like button below. If you would like more one-on-one help, I do online one-on-one coaching, so there's a link down below that you can organise your own time that you want to lock in. So please, I hope you made a lot from this, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.